Kanpai! Once again,
into the breach.
Third time's a charm.
We're back, weebs.
Yep.
And this time we bring another fat load of shows, but it's not gonna be 3 hours of shows. So I promise it's not gonna be, or was it 4 hours? I don't remember. This is Kanpai Cast for episode 110. This is not the news. This is episode 110 of Kanpai Cast. It is the autumn 2023 mid-season review, and we're here to talk about anime. A lot of anime. But first, before we do that, let me just remind you that we have a Discord, and you can come there and hang out and watch us talk about anime, and watch us talk about live-action Netflix shows that probably shouldn't exist, and watch Thaylien post his images of waifus, and share some memes with us that we'll then review when we get to the show, because, you know, it's fun like that.
Indeed.
There are links in the description. There are links in the description to that. There are also links in the description to the memes that we show every week, which are hosted now on the Kanpai Cast website specifically, so that, you know, when Reddit deletes them or YouTube gets angry, you'll still be able to go look at them and have fun.
It's amazing how often Reddit will just delete memes. I mean, it's not just like moderators, but even the original posters will just delete the memes, and it's just like, fucking why? You know, because I was building up a stockpile of all these different memes, and I was just like, you know,
Indeed.
Oh yeah, about a third of them are just gone. Cool.
Yeah.
Could be worse. Yeah. Could be Discord's thing, where they're just going to change the link every time, 24 hours after they find out it's posted outside of Discord, so that you can't use Discord as image hosting.
Yeah, but I
mean, they can just fucking do that with a header. Like, I don't understand what the big fucking whoop is that. Like, oh my god. Like, so Slack has done this, right? Slack has achieved this. They achieved it years ago by simply saying, like, where is it coming from? It's coming from outside of Slack. We're not gonna let you talk to it, right? But anyway,
still.
Right,
anyway,
last little bit.
What? Last little bit.
The last little bit of our housekeeping, which Nasuth thought we should go over.
Because this
is one of our review episodes. One of our viewers did point out that we have not gone over our classification system in a while. So for any new watchers out there, we thought we'd do this for you to make sure you're up to speed on how at least we work. Because this isn't just a normal star rating system. We're a little bit more in depth than that.
So,
explain to us what we've got here.
We've got the must watch, which is, an anime that's so good. Like, just, it's amazing. It doesn't matter what genre it is. It could be slice of life, and you hate slice of life like me. Or it could be, I don't know what Xeno hates. High school anime. It could be a high school anime, and Xeno will be like, oh my god, this is amazing. How has this not been in my life? So that's must watch. Acquired Taste is essentially, it's kind of like must watch, but it's very genre specific. So if you like shonen anime, if you like really Monster Hunter, My Hero Academia type animes, right? You will definitely 100% like this anime. It's just the pinnacle of its genre. Nothing special, right? It's like eating a cheese pizza. It's still good. You still like the cheese pizza. It's got all the ingredients that you care about, but it doesn't get fancy with it. It's got no pepperoni. It's got no peppers. It's nothing.
Or it could have something that brings down otherwise good show.
Yep. Pass is it's so bland. It's just, it doesn't matter if it's a genre you like. It's not worth your time. Maybe binge it, but even then, it's probably not worth your time. And then Poop is just, oh god, it's so bad. It's like Rusted Armor Dawn, right? So Rusted Armor Dawn is a perfect example, because it doesn't matter it might have a great story, but it's so visually problematic that just looking at it hurts you. And so it's not a pass. It's just terrible.
Yes.
I think the big thing is, like, typically with the likes of Pass and sometimes Nothing Special, you'll watch it and you don't really remember it, but you have some vague semblance of, I know I've watched it. Poop, unfortunately, is so bad you can't help but not. But you can't help but remember it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know,
It's a train wreck in progress.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
I mean, train wreck in progress could be Nothing Special, but the whole point is, like, it's just like, oh yeah, I got these magic scabbards, and these magic scabbards that prevent me from getting poisoned.
Now, you might enjoy that because it could be so bad that it's good, but it's unlikely. That's usually a 0 star poop to me.
Even a pass is something that, if you've got nothing else to watch that you prefer, you can watch it, and you know, if you're wasting your time anyway, why not waste your time on that?
It's background noise.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's our rating systems. So we're going to get into them.
I think Xeno wanted to talk about some shows that we're not covering.
Yes.
This time around specifically.
So just to give like the highlights and things like this, stuff that we've kind of covered, and you know, so Amaim Warriors at the Borderline, Ultra Steel, Furikuri Shoegaze, Goodnight World. They've all finished, so we don't really need to cover them again.
Yep.
Wait,
Arknights is that was a yes.
I was agreeing with this thing.
Well,
yeah, we don't need to
some
finish them.
shows like Arknights, Dead Mount Death Play.
Right.
I'm holding out until the whole thing is done, only because, like, in all honesty, I've got a lot going on in terms of what I'm watching already, and out of all the ones that I'd rather watch, those are the ones that I'd rather suspend. I was so close to doing that for Ancient Magus Bride. I was just so glad I didn't. And then there are some that we've just flat out dropped, which are like Ron Komonohashi's Forbidden Deductions, Kami Ibiri or Godap, I'm assuming Firefighter Daigo, and yeah, that's it. Those are the ones that were
the backgrounds. Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, those are the ones that we're basically not touching this week, if you're wondering where they have gone. So, and considering we actually have a fucking even number of shows to talk about, I'm not going to start this time.
My God.
I'm going to hand over to Nasuth. Nasuth can start for once.
Awesome.
My God.
What are you going to start with?
Oh God, which one do I want to start with? Okay, let's save the absolute best one for last. I don't always do that, but I'm going to do that this time. So let's talk about Bullbuster, shall we?
Okay.
That's not the right one. That's Berserk of Gluttony. There we go. So this has not changed for me. This is still a 4-star acquired taste. It's essentially a slice of work in disguise, kind of like Miss Kuroitsu, right? Only a little less disguised than that. Miss Kuroitsu was very, very deep into the whole. Yeah, well, the slapstick and the whole, we're an evil tokusatsu company, right? So it didn't focus as much on the business side of things. This focuses about half as much on the business side of things as it does on the action. So it's pretty evenly split. And well, maybe and character development too. So it's a 3-way tie. I really love it. It isn't really a Appointment's favorite, but the opening is fantastic. I could watch that all day long. We got a little bit more.
You posted that.
I did. I posted it in my
Awesome.
My favorite openings and endings. Yep. A little bit more mecha action in this show, but again, that's not really the focus of it, right? It's uncovering this mystery of what's going on on the now abandoned island where the giant beasts are showing up. And so we're furthering that more than anything. They actually manage to capture one of the creatures, and that opens up a whole chain of events where now we're seeing what the scientists' side of the business angle is going on. Like the company that's doing the science side of things is essentially doing it pro bono because they're trying to keep all this under wraps, et cetera, et cetera. And the guy they're dealing with is clearly middle management. He's like, well, why would I go to any extra effort beyond what we're already doing? There's no profit in it. Anything we learn from it won't be profitable. Why? And they try to convince him. But they could come to the mainland. They could pose a danger to everyone. So, where's the profit? But luckily, there's another scientist who works under him who actually does care about science, who does care about this, and so we get to see her, in contrast to him, putting in the extra effort and the extra time. And I love that. I love the little moments like that in this show. Normally I don't go in for slice of X, but the way that this one is unfolding it's really captivating. It's really hard to pinpoint exactly why to me.
It may be just down to like the caliber of the slice of elements, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's honestly like a lot of when it comes down to any slice of life for me is the fact that or slice of whatever. It's just how believable is it? Like how much can I accept that what's going on would actually happen? Again, it's why I like 60-minute sensation, is because like yes, I could readily believe that these events did or could happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you suspend your disbelief of the initial premise of it, and you get this story. And it's, I get that.
But it does still have these amazing comedic moments as well, which are just like, it's so good to see, and lots of little character touches where you learn more about them and like see how they react to things. It's not a must watch, definitely not a must watch, because you'd have to be able to enjoy that slice of X factor. But man, it's really good. I'm really it's one of those that I definitely look forward to.
Might have to pick this up once it's all out.
Yeah.
Cool. Thaylien?
Well, it's one spinch. I am going to... Okay. I'm going to get Berserk of Gluttony out of the way, because this is the worst show I'm watching.
You're not wrong.
This is the worst show that I'm watching this season. I'm going to stick with it, because... I feel that a couple of our commenters have been right. Sticking with the bad show to see, the contrast and example. It's actually a good exercise. So,
and if there's a redemption.
This is a 2-star nothing special right now. Okay, it's down there, not quite a pass yet. While there are some things to slightly elevate this, the concepts that it's trying to do. It is overpowered by just the edginess kind of element to it, and a little bit of apathy as well. If you've got a whole animation thing, you can do stage directions however the fuck you want them, and you're just bland with the characters. So many of the things, the only emotion we've ever seen is from people that are victims. Everybody else is so tame. The concepts are quite good so far.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
No. You keep going. I'll pipe up later.
So the concepts are quite good. The idea that in this world, the skill you're given by the gods it dictates how you're going to go in this world, and you can. It's got the silly level up system. But of course, if you can't use your skill properly, you can't level up, right? You'll be stuck at like level 1 or 2, because if you're just a baker with the skill for rolling pins or something like that, then how are you going to you're going to use it, but you're not actually going to get really any experience from doing the same thing day after day. There are the force in this world that is very authoritative is the Holy Knights, and you become one of those by having the ability Holy Sword, or a similar one, Sword of Light or something like that, and it makes you a warrior. It makes you able to use the abilities of a Holy Knight. Right? That's simple. Our boy has the skill Gluttony, which he thinks for his whole growing life that it just makes him hungry and never able to be satisfied. And so he's basically shit on his entire life because of it. When his father dies in the village they're originally there, he gets chased out. He literally gets rejected from his home village because his skill is worthless. And it's only through happenstance that he is forced to stand guard instead of a Holy Knight. They want to go off and slack off for a bit. That he accidentally kills an intruder. Gluttony activates and devours the intruder's soul, taking on the intruder's skills and giving him appraisal and telepathy, which is on contact telepathy. And suddenly he realizes, oh shit, I actually have a skill, and it gave me stats, boost to my strength, my endurance, and everything else. And things are starting to progress. We're getting another character who adds another skill, Wrath in this case, which is another of the 7 deadly sins. And his talking sword, his magical talking sword he's picked up, Greed, has finally explained to him about the concepts behind that. This is at episode 6 mark. It's not anything huge. It just explains the concept that there are some skills and weapons in the world that are considered to be unholy. They go against the order that the gods laid down when, for humanity. And it makes him dangerous. It makes him a kill on sight if somebody found out about this. But it's just dragged down by this fact that everything that's happening seems to have no weight. He's drifting through it. And even though he's given some amazing things, to prevent him getting overpowered, he has to feed his stats that he gains from killing things into his sword, which lets him use powerful attacks, or lets it level up the sword to another thing. He gets a scythe that can cut anything, even spirit. And they're like, okay, that's epic, what the fuck for? And we don't see where this is going at all. If there's some point to it all, I'll be impressed. As it stands, it is decidedly not worth most people's time.
I don't. The village arc went nowhere. I was expecting the village arc to actually be useful. It went nowhere. When he explains that you can actually resist the power of gluttony, why didn't he explain that at any point earlier?
Exactly.
Why, if everyone knows that gluttony is a mortal sin, why does but they also all know that he has gluttony already? Then why haven't they killed him? Nothing makes goddamn sense anymore.
Yes.
I hate it.
It's so edgy for edginess sake. Let's move on.
Cool. Right. So I'm going to move on to the oh shit, I nearly gave up on this one. The Ancient Magic's Bride Season 2 Part 2. It's been slow, it's been dragging. The start of this narrative started at the end of Part 1 and has been going on for, basically to 6 episodes. And it has been rough. So I'm giving this an acquired taste 5-star, right?
Really?
Yes. Seriously, the last 2 episodes, episodes 5 and 6 of Part 2 really turned the whole thing around. I was getting so bored of the first 4 episodes. I was like, I can barely remember them, but these last 2, I'm just like, holy shit, I need more. I need more right now. And it's, I would give this a must watch, but unfortunately, it's still airing. I think it's something that's worth binging, but you need the whole of season 1. There's so much of season 2 I can't remember because of it was all like covered in season 1. And the quality of the animation is fantastic. The performance of the characters is brilliant. The direction of the narrative, it kind of keeps you on your toes, but at the same time, you kind of like, I think it's that person. I think it's that person. That person, isn't it? It's like, but we're not going to tell you. Holy shit, it's that person. Like, no fucking shit. But the action, the delivery, the journey is the best part of this series. And if you've slept on The Ancient Magus Bride, try season 1. I'm damn well sure if you like season 1, you're gonna like season 2, right? But again, as I said, I was so close to just I'll just wait till it's all out. But I watched 5 and 6. I was like, God damn it, I can't put this down. Yeah.
I have a question. If you're done,
Do it.
Okay. So when you're like, yes, these twists are so obvious, would you say this is geared more towards a younger audience? Not that older audiences can't enjoy it, but would you say it's geared more towards a younger audience, and they might not be as clever about putting these clues together?
I don't really know. I do feel that this is a show for most ages, like young adults to full-grown adults and things. So you could be right in that regard. However, I think it's mostly a case of like it's showing the caliber of the individual, right? So, basically the start of this season, I don't want to go into too much detail because I do want people to watch this. The start of this season shows the school locking down, right? And effectively, they're trying to root out the perpetrator with an investigation that's going on outside the school and things. And it turns out that the perpetrator's still in the school, right?
What? Is that Prince Adam and Orko?
No. You wish, right? But
sorry.
But that's actually part 1. But that's crap. What was I saying?
Caliber of the people.
Investigation going on.
Investigations.
So basically, it's a case of like, well, how do you root out the bad guy in this situation? And there's so many different ways that they can approach it, and how they do approach it is actually very obvious yet informed. They give you a clear cut, like, this is the reason.
It informs you about the character. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I was gonna.
It's not beyond the caliber of the individual that does it.
Yes. This is what I was going to say. Are these plot beats more obvious because we've seen them before? And would they be less obvious to somebody watching this as more like a second or third anime they're watching?
Yeah, it's kind of what I meant. Yeah.
I don't know. I think again it's more obvious because you can understand the caliber of the
characters. It makes sense for the characters because you know these characters. These actions fit in, and they inform you more about them at the same time.
Yeah. So that's
I think I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I think this is like a brilliant series, and as I said, I would give this a must watch. But the problem is that it has so much of a homework prerequisite that might turn people off, and I think that it is worth watching. Both seasons. Okay. So anyway, should we move on, Nasuth?
All right, let's get Spy Family out of the way. I have very mixed emotions about Spy Family. This has actually gone up. It was an acquired taste 1 star. It is now an acquired taste 2-star. That's mostly because of the last 2 episodes, though.
Right.
So episode 5 starts us on an arc that will carry us all the way through to at least 7. So I can't actually tell you how it will end or anything. I shouldn't tell you how it will end anyway. Spoilers. But essentially, so episode 4 was a fabled dessert that can make you smarter, make you an imperial scholar. And if Anya gets her grades up, and she and Becky won't be in. If Anya doesn't get her grades up, she and Becky won't be in the same class next year. And so this leads to a contest between her and Damien, Damien's crew, to split an order of the very last Macrons. Macrons. Damien...
Macaroons.
No, they said Macron. Macaron. Anyway.
Yeah, but it's like... It's
Macaroon.
French.
All right. So Damien throws it at the last minute because he has a crush on Anya, but she still fails her tests. Rimshot. Yeah. Story 2 is sort of leading us into the arc where we're essentially seeing Yor talk to her assassin group, which is called Garden, and they're going to give her a mission to help them out. But the rest of the episode is about Scruffy trying to impress a woman by finding a cat. He ends up running into Yor, who helps. Their plans backfire because the cats are assholes. And the only good part is when he brings out a power suit and Yor goes full beast mode. But that brings us up to the actual story arc where so Anya sees a contest to go on a cruise ship. And using her mental powers, she realizes that it's a scam. The people running the contest have a plant in the audience. The actual ticket is taped to the inside of the box, and so she gets it and wins. And so she and Lloyd and Yor are going to go on the cruise, but Yor's like, "But I've got this other job. I got to go do this thing." And so she's going to be up in first class while they're down in third class. Of course, you know they're going to meet up anyway. Hasn't actually happened yet, but you know they're going to meet up anyway. But we actually get to see Yor doing assassin things. And it's what this show has been missing for a season and a half, just about. I don't know if it will last. I don't know how it will end, and the ending might completely fuck it all up. But right now, I'm happy to see Yor doing assassin things. It makes me so happy. That's all I care about now.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love the start of Spy Family, but it feels like that the whole Spy, the whole cover, the first volume of the manga, right, is a nice, pale green background, like, you know, sort of like a pale teal color. I can't think of a correct term. With Anya, Lloyd, and Yor sat at a table. Lloyd and Yor have like a massive pile of weapons behind them, while Anya's just sat at the table, like staring at the pair of them. Right? That is a brilliant depiction for the start of the series, right? But then it just drops off the face of the earth because Yor takes such a back seat, and I fucking hate that. Right?
Well, and even Lloyd takes kind of a backseat. It's mostly about Anya at school, you know, except for the few times that we see something else where that's annoying, like Yor's brother. Well, Yor's brother was better this season. I haven't minded him this season.
Psychic child shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Psychic child shenanigans at a school that apparently she can't psychic child it up hard enough.
Yeah.
I don't know how the mission hasn't failed. I just don't.
Yeah, yeah, but but I was wrong. I thought this was going to be redone as the Code White movie, but apparently the Code White movie has a completely different plot that looks just awful.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, Spy Family. If you like cuteness, I guess, but
All right, go on, Thaylien.
Alrighty. I want to get one out of the way again. I think I'm going to get Goblin Slayer out of the way.
Goblin Slayer.
Because Xeno is not really following Goblin Slayer.
Xeno dropped this, episode 3.
Yes.
Did you really? No, not even episode 4.
It's jumping plot threads around, and I could see why that would be annoying. But
well, has it even started
That's
the other
not-
plot threads? Because as far as I can tell, it has.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
So episode 4 on do that. So episode 4 on have started off the next line of the plot, moving on to go visit a wedding in the Elven lands.
Right, that's not actually part of that canon. That's complete filler. It's
Oh, okay, but it's another one. I haven't read it. You have.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this, but it has slid down in my estimations a bit because it's doing things that are clearly more contrived. So our priest girl gets a ability, from she's leveled up as a she's ranked up as an adventurer.
Have you given a rating?
No, he hasn't. No.
Oh, good point. No. Okay. So I'm going to keep this in the acquired taste area because previously it was must watches. It's going to be an acquired taste. I think I'm going to give it a 4-star because it's still good quality.
What? It's what? Have you watched the animation?
Okay, just
let him go.
Sorry.
Okay. Some of the things they do, the animation is really good. Some of it, yeah, but it's still Goblin Slayer ultimately, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm still going to give it a slightly higher rating than you would.
Okay.
You're not enjoying it as much as me, therefore.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shut up. I'm just gonna.
No, discussion's fine. It's just the thing. So we've moved on, and as I say, they're doing a few things that are far more contrived. So there's a little bit of setup to them. So our priest girl gets a new ability, cleanse. Right, she can cleanse all the infections and dirt and things that you get on a typical goblin slaying adventure from her whole party and from the surrounding area. They're travelling to the Elven lands, and there's a goblin ambush. And the goblins have actually blocked the river because they've learned from the lock gates further up the river, and they're going down to they're trapping people behind these barriers they've got tied up over the river. And she realizes that she can use the cleansing ability because it'll treat all of that floating waste as things that are unclean and purify them from the river to allow them to escape. So it's getting there. There's more things happening than there were earlier. And I don't want to say it, but I am going to, because I can only see this sliding further down my ratings, let alone yours, before anything else happens. So it is dropping off even for me, and I'm very forgiving.
I thought the river section was garbage, but I thought the camp scene, aside from the swimsuits, which was
the
fully gratuitous
excuse to put four of the character girls into swimsuits.
Yes, but
that's it.
But the actual campfire scene after that, we actually got a little more character development. I enjoyed that more than the entire boat ride, because the boat ride, the raft ride, just felt super contrived to me.
Yes.
Much the same way that Priest is, helping those kids in order to get her goals felt contrived to me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I want more of that character though. She's cute. the halfling swords girl. She definitely needs to be in more things.
Yeah.
Because that's just adorable. A warrior halfling. Well, they've got Ryelza in this series. The halflings. So that's a thing. As I say, it's dropping off, even in my estimations, even in my forgiving nature. So anybody that is thinking of watching it, wait until the whole series is out. We'll give it another review at the end of the season.
Maybe.
Cool.
Okay.
Should we move on then?
Yes, please.
Oh god, that bloody outing. Right. Okay. You know what? I couldn't give it a rating last time. I am gonna give it a rating this time. Right? I'm gonna do Under Ninja, right? Holy shit! Right, so I'm giving this a 4-star acquired taste.
Wow.
I am highly recommending everyone, seriously, wait until the whole thing is out. But I've gotten so far now that it's not the sunk cost fallacy, but I now have a better understanding of what the fuck the plot is. If you ever seen the likes of Durara or Bakano, or there's a few shows like this where they skip around the whole time element of like when certain events happen, but it's like, oh, this happened in 1912, this happened in 1913, and this happened in 19. It jumps around all over the place, and Bakano is one of the best series out there. But the thing is, until you work out that it's fucking around with the different timelines, it becomes very difficult to follow. It's probably easier to follow Bakano in terms of the English stuff. This is something similar. It focuses on 2 dates, right? The events at the start of the school year and 2 months prior. It's like September and July, but it kind of keeps pace with like the days moving and things like this. And effectively, the stupidest, really inappropriate joke behind this is the fact that everyone in Japan is secretly ninja, right? And it is so stupid, and it just feels like inappropriate to make this joke. But then, so the idea is that, as I said before, in the 3-episode rule, basically, after World War II, Japan was ordered to effectively get rid of their ninja army, right? However, they didn't, and 200,000 citizens within Japan are secretly ninja, right? But you don't know who, and also they don't say shinobi, they say ninja, right? Which is like, because I think they're playing on some puns to do with the English translation of shinobi, but anyway, but the crazy behind all of this is just trying to grasp the different factions involved. And in fact, there is a secret faction of ninja that are trying to destroy the government official ninjas, right? And they are called they are called Under Ninja, right? And the sheer volume of what the fuck did I just see is astronomical, right? Look, what do you think this is? What do you think she is wielding right here?
Some kind of sniper rifle.
No, you'd be wrong. That's a leg crutch.
Yeah, but as a sniper rifle.
No, but is he using it?
Yes.
As a? But I was going to say it's definitely wielding it like a gun, but she's wielding a crutch as a gun. Okay.
I do not want to spoil anything.
Very typical assassin sort of behavior. You gotta hide your weapons.
But everything is hidden as
I love this. This sounds amazing.
It sounds really stupid, whacked off its balls. I think this is going to be up a lot of people's alleys, but like it's please, for the love of God, just wait for the whole thing to come out. I watched. I think I've been watching it in like episodes of 2s and things. What?
Do you think this has the potential to be a must-watch by the end of the season?
It does, but also it could just completely fuck up.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It could just like and everyone died.
But if it keeps its current trajectory, it could cross that threshold.
And I don't know. Like it. I think a lot of people don't like to think so. Like look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You can't look at this, but look at this. Look, you can't. Invisible, right? But But this is like how whacked off its gourd it is.
Yeah.
Right? So I do recommend people check it out. I think it would be difficult to become a must-watch because I don't think a lot of people like this high-level thinky sort of series, right?
So it's so it's more cerebral than action.
Yes, it is very cerebral, mostly because it is jumping from point to point, but it doesn't do it as heavily as the likes of Durara and Bakuna.
Right.
I think
okay.
Durara doesn't jump particularly in time. I think it does. But it's more different locations at the same time. Ooh, pardon me. But I'm loving this, and I do think this is up your alley, and as it's just hold out.
Any thoughts, Thaylien? Not empty.
No, I might.
Only anime.
It's one of those ones to binge when if it turns out to be really good at the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's. I agree. I will probably try and pick that up.
Cool.
Right, go on, Nasuth.
Right, let's do Eminence in Shadow. So this has actually dropped a little for me. This is down to an acquired taste 1 star. It used to be 3. I mean, in my heart, it's still must watch.
Nasuth, you pressed the wrong button. You should have hit the one on the far right.
The poop.
The poop. Sorry.
0-star poop. So we're in an arc right now that just doesn't. It's just not as fun. But I will say the last episode kind of brought it back a little bit. So if we can just get past this, it'll be better. The biggest problem is that it's now giving us a lesson in banking and how imaginary money and credit can lead to a credit crisis and massive deflation and horrible things like a market crash and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, all right, yeah, because there's this conflict going on between. Should I put spoilers on this? I don't know.
Nah, don't bother going into detail. Like
there's a conflict going on between the major major merchant alliance and the company that the 7 shadow blades, whatever they are, have started up. That and so Shadow's like trying to trigger this market crash in order to scoop up the assets of both of them, and it's just like, but you already own that one. Why are you? They'll just give you everything if you ask. I don't. That's really the biggest problem.
That's right. Sid is a fucking moron.
Yeah. Yeah.
How have we not figured this out already?
Yeah.
But again, by the end of that, it was starting to get better. We started to see some interesting character stuff happening again. Everything's starting to come to a head. I do kind of feel like they put in the first 3 episodes, which were really, 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 really good to keep us kind of attached during this slower part. I just hope it actually has a decent ending for me. Xeno will hate it, obviously, either way.
I'm gonna hate it regardless.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand how you and Loz can talk about this as to the lengths that you do.
Well, I mean, Delta's appearance was hilarious. Delta's appearance is always hilarious.
Which one was Delta?
She's the animal one. Yeah.
The one that's been like fucking teased for like the last third of the first season and does nothing.
Yeah, she does stuff in this one. And then there's an interaction with Alpha that's really good, and like there's things about this that I like. It's just, did you have to use the backdrop of a credit crisis to get what you're doing? Anyway, that's really all I have to say about Shadow. Neither of these two watch it. If you've watched season 1, you know you're gonna watch season 2. But if you haven't, give season 1 a try.
You know the shit. You know the shit you're in for. Contrived horse.
I love season 1. Season 1 was great. Season 2.
Anyway.
All right, I want to get out the. I want to get out the other one, the other elephant in the room, the Rising of the Shield Hero.
Okay.
Yeah, because
now you say elephant in the room.
Yeah, because it's still coming back from that second season.
Yeah.
Fair.
But the thing is, it is coming back.
Fair.
Yeah.
So we've got that rather fantastically simple thing with Ren, where
rating. Rating.
Yeah. So okay. So we brought it down because of the second season into the acquired taste.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna. I think because it's on the rise again, I'll give it the 4-star.
The 4-star acquired taste.
There you go.
I think this is reasonable.
That's actually exactly what my rating is.
Okay,
I think this is reasonable.
So yeah, the whole it brought back this plot with Ren, where the character formerly known as mine, now it's bitch, has latched onto him, and then he's at his lowest point. He's lost all of his team and is directly responsible because he's treated this world like a game. Okay, he's Isekai'd into this world properly, as we've mentioned before on this, is he was actually killed, and we do see that.
Are we should we put on spoilers if we're gonna talk about?
Well, no, because we have mentioned this again, but I'm not going to go too deep.
Okay,
because it's the fact that she's back to her old ways. She takes him at his lowest, the same way that she did with Naofumi, and treats him exactly the same. So we see Ren go through a shorter but just as important arc as Naofumi has.
We get to see the difference between how they handle it too, which I think is important.
Yes, and the difference in what they want, because again we see that Ren and even Motoyasu are treating this place like a game. They bring back a little bit of the comedy, which I like, especially with Motoyasu, because the guy's a sleaze. We know this, and him having his hopes shattered by all of his team leaving him after his failure. Then seeing Philo singing on the table to entertain the group, and suddenly converting to blind idol worship of the small girl, which is A, creepy, and B, exceptionally funny because Philo has the power.
But perfect for his character. It also fit. I also went under the creepy thing, and then Laws had to remind me. Yeah, but we know he has a problem.
Exactly. He's got a problem, and now he has a single fixation, which is making him actually listen to Naofumi. Which, even if the cause of it is not so good, the result of it is going to be good. Is Motoyasu actually getting getting his shoulders under the problem and getting stronger and joining in on the quest that needs to happen? They're still pointing out that the next, beast that's delaying the waves is coming. They're saying the Phoenix is coming. It's only if they've got no time left. They've got to keep getting stronger, and up till episode 6 is all about getting first Motoyasu, then Ren on board. And I think we've got to that point now. We've got one more hero to go, and the vassal heroes, which they've started teasing. And so I'm liking the way this is coming back from the rush it had before.
So I do feel that the pacing of the series is still too fast. I feel
that's
that
a fair point.
There's this season 3 is like fucking leagues beyond
season 2. Yeah.
But I don't think it is as good as season 1, only because you just I feel like you get like plot whiplash quite a bit.
Yes.
Because, stuff is not allowed to sink in. Yeah. Which
you're referring back to season 2 as well with some of these things.
I'm kind of ignoring season 2 at
No.
this point.
I mean, the actual season 3 is referring back to things that happened in season 2.
Sure.
Which adds to some of the breakneck pace. in some cases.
Yeah, I suppose.
Where they're trying to, like in season 2, they had the whole trip to the other world where they gained special things, and they're trying to recapture that in the new series. Nothing's come of it yet, but it's still an ongoing background thread. And I mean, okay.
I also feel that because of the speed that this series is going, season 3, they're making animation choices that aren't easy to follow. And I kind of want to go into spoiler territory now.
All right.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about some of this. So, giving people the opportunity to get out, in case, you know.
Timestamps down below.
Yes. But with shit, what's the name of the... So, in one of the... I think it was episode 4, Naofumi and the gang get approached by these 2 random characters that are using abilities.
I believe
that
that's
way above what they should be. For like,
I believe that's actually episode 5, but yes.
Okay, fine. It's whichever. It's episode 5 or 6. 4 or 5. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. The whole point is, but when they are dispatched, when they are killed, you know, basically, there's no blood or gore whatsoever.
They don't. They vanish.
Right?
But then the second time there is.
Exactly. That is my point.
Only because they're looking for it. Well, only because the little side character that everybody thinks is just a cute mascot pointed it out.
No. No, that they pointed out the ghost.
Oh no, you're right.
I'm talking about the blood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like what's called the blood and gore and everything. It's just like, you know, it kind of like, boy, that escalated quickly. I don't know if there is supposed to be something behind that, as in like,
I think
this is feeding Motayasu's bloodlust, right? You know,
or did they attack them too fast this time?
I think it's no. I think this is. I think the first one to signify that they were trying to defeat them, and in this one, it was that Motoyasu is not above killing people because he's in some way still treating this like a game as well.
Yeah, but
so he's got that still in his head.
But it makes it confusing because it's down to interpretation of the viewer as to what does this symbolize, and it makes it hard
may be nothing.
to digest. It may be absolutely nothing at all, right? It may be a simple case of like they did not have the opportunity to animate the blood in episode 5. Right?
But you're doing a visual medium, and so it's important when you do cues like that, people are going to pick up on it.
Well, especially considering that for a series like Shield Hero, subtlety is king, right?
Yes.
Or
so
at least it used to be.
If you are, well, that is true. I do think that. Go on.
You say that, but did anybody notice that Motoyasu's lance head was a lobster?
What?
I don't know what it was, but I kind of questioned whether or not
it was obviously from like when he was.
It was glowing like the purple. So
yeah, glowing purple. Yeah. But I think so. It probably came from the island leveling up thing they did, you know. But,
I thought it was because he turned it into a wrath weapon the same way, or not a wrath weapon, a sin weapon.
Curse weapon.
No, I don't think so because it looked like a lobster. I think it's like a themed thing and an ability on it, but it just really off-putting.
But again, it's a case of like, how am I supposed to understand this? How am I supposed to interpret it? A part of me did feel like, is this just another cursed weapon, right? Is this like... I didn't like how Ren's cursed weapon was so mild compared to that of Naofumi's, right? No. Like, Naofumi, when full... Demon Lord, his armor just like grew spikes to high heaven. His shield got absolutely massive, but all Ren's did was just, you know.
Well, it did alter the world around him at one point.
Yes, I mean it pulled in gold from everywhere. Okay, they did name this with the fact that his sin of his thing is greed.
Yeah.
So. And that isn't a nourishing thing. right?
Well,
It costs. So maybe where now Fumi goes beast mode and loses his ability
Control.
to reason and think, Ren lost strength and stamina in trying to for these abilities he gets.
a part of me wonders whether or not, and I think we should move on shortly.
Yeah, we're at 10 minutes.
A part of me wonders whether or not, because obviously we had, is it Floria, the queen of the...
Yeah. Florial Queen.
Yeah, she turned around and said, like, do not rely on the cursed shield, right?
Yes.
It's dangerous. I'm wondering if evident by Ren having 2, whether or not the cardinal heroes can get all 7, and if they do, they effectively
Something bad
become
happens.
They become the demon lord.
Yeah.
And because it's like a huge bump in power, I'm wondering if that's why there's like a warning of like, don't do it, don't rely on it.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
is there anything else you
that's-
guys want to finish off with, or should we move on?
Nah. Let's finish this. Move on to the next one.
Well,
Right.
what am I gonna
Go watch. I think the conclusion is go watch Shield Hero, season 1.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Season 1. To be honest, though, like real minor, I think people can skip season 2. I really think because of
the way they explain stuff.
Yeah, I think this covers whatever you need in season 2, and like season 2 is just such a non-element, but
I mean, a few visuals might be good, like the other world stuff.
true. Right.
Getting just context.
I'm going to jump to 16-bit sensation.
Okay.
Right. And I'm going to give this... Oh, this is difficult. I'm trying to think. Do I want to give this a high nothing special or a low acquired taste? I think I'm going to give this a high nothing special. So I'm going to give this a 5-star nothing special. Yes. Right. It has the potential to getting into acquired taste very easily. Right. But I think from what we have right now, it's nothing special. So, if we remember, the whole idea is that we have our main protagonist, who's on the screen right now. She is sick to death of doing illustration artwork for mobile games, right? Because, let's face it, most mobile games are trash, right? And she is given the opportunity to go back in time to basically relive the glory years of games development, and it's brilliant, right? You get to see a lot of things like how they develop on older generation of machines, how they have to make choices in terms of like what platforms they build for, so on and so forth. There's also the marred effect of like, well, do I really want to make Bashoujo games, or do I want to make other stuff? It's quite interesting to see like the early days of this stuff, and how well it is represented in 16-bit sensation. I feel that there is an added layer of mystery to this that is kind of shallow.
Would you say it's another layer? Sorry.
Shut up, you. Because that's the subtitle of the series.
That's the subtitle.
Like 16-bit sensation, another layer. But anyway, there is a mystery going on at the same time, which is quite shallow, and it hasn't really developed much after 6 episodes, right? I do think that the series has great potential, but also could just meander into nothingness, right? I mean, hell, I've been bitten really badly with, what was it, my cheat skill in another world is overpowered in this world too. Like, it's like, that one just like, what do you do? You wasted the whole thing, right? So, this has great potential. It's interesting to how it's handling different characters and different perspectives, even what's called the gender perspective, in early years of game development. And yeah, I'm quite interested in it. I think people, maybe if you got nothing else on, you like the sound of like a bit of slice of work, slice of life series, maybe give it a go and things.
There's a little bit of time travel thrown in.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting how you know how you get those sorts of situations when it comes to time travels. Only if you just had this one minor thing, it could make the world of difference, right? It does do this, right? And
it may not be the benefit that you think it is.
No, not just that. It's just like, prove you're a time traveler. Okay. And it actually pays off.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Which is often like a trope when it comes to time traveling. It's like people just don't believe that you're a time traveler. You just think like you're just a crazy person off the street.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
It doesn't help that I am a crazy person off the street as well.
It really doesn't, I mean, you could have warned us of Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2, but you didn't, you bastard! Right, anyway. So...
It's because I'm coming from the past.
You should have...
He skipped Season 2. He skipped Season 2.
Yeah.
The bastard. Anyway, right. Do you have any questions about this one, or should we move on?
No. You've just covered it quite well.
Right, so I'm going to do a Returner's Magic Should Be Special, which is kind of a surprise hit, I guess, for me. Kind of. Well, I guess it's not really the surprise hit. But it's an acquired taste 4-star for me now. It's up from 2. And the reason I say it's a surprise to me is because who knew a Magic School anime might not suck? I would say the same for Misfit, and Misfit has gotten good. So we're watching Misfit of Demon King Academy in the background, the first season. And it has gotten good, but I wouldn't say it started great. And I think that in 6 episodes, this one has endeared itself more to me than that one did. But that's not to say Misfit's bad, because it's not. But there are some things so in Misfit they've also got this class. There are a lot of parallels. That's why I bring it up. In Misfit they've also got this class struggle, right? You've got the elite royal members and the half breeds, the misfits, what have you. And
the nobility and the peasants.
Yes, and you essentially got the same thing in this one. You've got a alpha class, and then everyone else is in beta class. But I feel like this one shows a little bit, like, in Misfit, you hear about it. You hear people using slurs. There's that one teacher that fights them, really. But other than that, you really mostly hear about it. In this, you actually get to see, like, they're given substandard places to study with substandard teachers. Their practice areas are absolute crap, and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There are some bad things that keep it from rising up to a 5-star or a must-watch. There's a whole section with a shop centering around one of the characters' sword. And that really feels contrived just to get us in a situation where the character can use his sword to be like, look all this cool stuff. I really like that the characters are actually developing. Like there's a tsundere character named Romantica, which is a terrible name. But she's slowly coming away from being a tsundere and into more of a well-rounded person and character. The
heresy.
I know. The main character, like, you hear a lot of his internal monologue, so it's like you can see him being like, okay. So the for anyone who doesn't know, the basic premise is that our main character has been sent back in time from the future, where they won a major victory, but then the world blew up anyway because of like the magical energy that they didn't foresee exploding once this thing died. And so he's been sent back in time, and his goal is to try and gather all of his teammates, even the ones who died, and make them all stronger now, so that when they get to that point again, they'll be more prepared for it. And so you can hear in his head, he's going over a lot of this stuff. He's like, I know this is coming, here's how we're going to prepare for it. I like that. The thing I don't like is that we don't really see more of what happened the first time. So, like, in this one, it beats, like, the very, very first test, right? What happened the first time? Did he not beat it? Did that make it? It didn't really make a difference because he still ended up in beta class anyway. But what I want to know how it happened before. You do get occasional hints of that.
Yeah.
But not. I would love to see that more expanded on.
It's more show, not tell.
I like the way that it's actually subverting my expectations, unlike another show that I'll talk about later. The MC isn't ridiculously overpowered. I mean, he's a little more powerful than the people he's with right now, but he's not ridiculously overpowered. Yeah, exactly. He knows how to use his magic better. But he's even admitted, oh, there's this person that I really have to worry about because they're on my level. You know, so he's. I like that. The story pacing is slow when it needs to be, but speeds up for boring parts, like they're in a tournament now, and it skips through a whole bunch of the early brackets so that we can get to the ending. MC doesn't really have a harem, even though both. So Romantica isn't in love with him. She's more infatuated by Pram, who is the little boy. The Shota character, I guess you'd call him, who is in love with Desir, who was our main character. You can tell I like this show. I actually know their names. But there's all these great little moments of comedy. It's just all around. It's a really good show. Sorry, we're past 5 minutes. I should probably stop. But it's all around just a really interesting, nice little show. I'm surprised by it.
Okay, I'm convinced. So, shall we go?
Unless either of you have any questions. I know you said you're...
No, good.
All right.
So, I am going to pick one of the ones I am definitely enjoying this season, which is Shy. And this one's easily earning the 4-star acquired taste. Because this is how you do a magical girl show.
I know!
This is how you do it. This is how you actually make it. You take the suspended disbelief of putting a show into a modern-ish day setting, and how you treat them as superheroes, but all they are is magical girls, including the magical guys.
Yep.
Okay. They have reached the point of teasing, showing and then teasing more of the actual villains. There's terminology coming into play. There is powers being gained by our heroes. More of their heroic companion, the other heroes being shown off, and showing not just the action, which is fairly decent, but more of that emotion that's going into it in the same way that classic magical girl shows would do. So spending a day helping out an old grandma who's got a bad back and just wanted to walk up the mountain to honor her dead husband.
But even that has impact and meaning,
yes.
and
yes, exactly.
furthers her goals too. It's
yes, it actually builds up people and the characters behind these magical powers, right? And introduces, it's a classic mix of a tsundere and a chunibyo. in character, this magical girl will do poses and do the introductions for herself dramatically, but then because when she's out of uniform, nobody recognizes her. Just to refresh people's memory, she does the pose and the intro, and then gets all embarrassed because she's doing it in public.
I think it's fair to say that episodes 1 through 5 kind of set up the world and the idea of what's going on.
Yes.
And episode 6 seems to be the turning point where we're now gonna dive headlong into plot.
The actual plot. So yes, because we're getting a rookie magical girl, and of course, before you start anything else, usually, like with Sailor Moon and everything, they throw them in the deep end and they have to have them taking on the bad guys when they don't even know what their powers are, and they just pull magical bullshit out of their ass because that's how it works. Hell,
but they did do that in this.
Was just Sergei from Sailor Moon was just really good at frisbee. That's why. That's why she threw the tiara, because it's actually her one real skill. But in this, okay, they are pulling a little bit, but it's building. It's having to introduce the concepts first.
Yes, rather than being a bad guy every episode, it's we'll throw her in the deep end here at this point, and then we'll pull back and let her actually learn more. And I like it's yes.
And I like how we were introduced quite early on to Spirit as a character, and we thought that her power, the initial thought is, of course, because she produces this kind of mist with her powers, is that she has ice powers, especially the fact she's from Russia. But as we then progress and we meet an enemy with ice powers, we find out, no, that doesn't seem to be the case, and so there's actually the case that we are not seeing everything that these other characters are capable of. We know what some of them do, what in effect, and we know what Shai's powers are going to be. But how do we actually use them? How is it working in this world? That's what we're going to go into next. We're going to see these evolutions and see this story grow. And the bullshit powers are going to get pulled out of the arse because it's a show about being powered by your emotions and your heart. So
yes, I think Shai's power that we've seen, the actual manifestation of it is not her real power, because we've seen her real power in work. We've seen it in the episode where she got thrown in the deep end. They just don't realize it yet.
Yes,
that's my theory anyway.
Yeah, and even Thingamy, what's his name?
Drippy-san?
Starman.
Oh, Starman. Yeah.
Actually, yes, he says it's far too. The power she has is Stardust. Yes, he says, I like this power, but it's far too direct and straightforward for you when he's thinking about it. So, I'm enjoying the show. I really want to see where it goes. The characters are adorable. Even like her friend / possible crush getting a little bit jealous because she's having to spend some time with other heroes instead of her. Other lady heroes instead of her is adorable. So recommended.
I feel that the series has a lot of potential behind it, and it's more up my alley than a lot of other magical girl shows. But I gotta be honest, like the mountain story,
like the mountain episode.
Off the back of the one before, which was like her discovering her powers and everything, like what her abilities were, I just felt like this is just slammed on the brakes, right? Okay. I feel
pacing issues for you at least. Fair enough.
I feel that the speed of the show peaks and troughs quite a lot, right? Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? But it, like, when they spend the bulk of an episode in a shopping mall, right, it's just like
that one was a little rough.
Yeah, but and then they spend the next episode with a lot of combat, a lot of the whole psychology behind Stardust, stuff like that. That was brilliant, right? But then the next one is just like, we're gonna climb a mountain, and don't get me wrong, nowhere near as bad as the shopping mall. And then the last one was just like, fuck, I need more. So
it's because they're developing two sides of her, right? They're developing her as a hero, but they're also developing her as a person, and they're like splitting it between those two rather than combining them.
To be honest, I hadn't considered that, right? I kind of saw them trying to make this one character have two sides, as opposed to developing two sides of the same character. It kind of sounds like the same thing, but it's
not,
like,
though.
It's like the struggles
of me.
Yeah, it's like, do you have the struggles of Peter Parker and Spider-Man separately, or do you have the one character?
This is the thing that Batman gets a little tired with. Bruce Wayne is still Batman, even when he's Bruce Wayne. You know, he doesn't actually. The Bruce Wayne is the mask for him in that sense.
Yes.
He's always Batman. He's always on the alert. This case, Shai is a hero and Shai is a person.
Yeah.
And it's only when those two are developed that they can actually blend, I think, that it's actually going to take off and we're going to find her real power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
They need to develop her as a person. They need to give her the ability to make connections with people easier. And the only way to do that is to develop her personal side rather than just her hero side.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like it is great to play the Spider-Man games as Spider-Man all the Spider time, but sometimes you need to have Peter do anything, right? And not just cutscene stuff between the plot points. So like maybe he has to file his taxes, his spider taxes.
Parker, you gotta get me these photos.
Sorry, what?
Parker, you gotta get me these photos.
Yeah. These spider photos. Sorry.
Also, Parker, you've got to mix these particular chemicals until they match.
Oh God. Some of the mini games. Anyway, that's a different conversation.
Yes.
Let's
move on. Let's move on.
Right. So, wait, it's Dino's turn. I don't know why it keeps doing that.
Because you're used to stealing the spotlight all the time.
Yep.
Right, I am going to do... how many do I have? I have 4 left, yeah. Right, okay. So I'm going to do...
No, you have 3 left.
You should have... Oh, yeah, because he's the last, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry, you going first.
Yeah, I'm so used to going first. Anyway, right. So I'm gonna do the 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really love you. I think I missed a really, but regardless. Okay. So I'm going to say this is a 2-star acquired take. Right? I think this is dumb, fun. The jokes are quite on point. What?
Sorry, he has
what was Thaylien doing? Oh,
I was trying to stroke the god's beard.
I couldn't tell what it was
because of the sappier tone.
Yeah,
which got fading out the beard. Yeah. Anyway, so just to briefly highlight again, what is this series about? The whole idea is that our main male protagonist, who has been dumped. Well, not dumped, but rejected 100 times after confessing to 100 girls, is basically told by a deity, you kind of get, kind of receiving 100 girlfriends, you know, and he kind of follows through with it. But the thing that really endears me to this series is that the girls aren't treated as objects. I want to go into spoilers in a short bit.
One question before you do. Are they treated as tropes?
So are they just archetypes? Are they...
They are unfortunately archetypes. They are unfortunately archetypes. But, again, like the main male protagonist, he's trying to do whatever he can to be endearing to each of them, right? And he tries to respect each of them for their... different choices, so on and so forth, and he is observant, right? Which is like one of the best things about them. There's another series, Girlfriend, which effectively follows the same principle of one guy has many girlfriends, but the guy in that is just basically collecting trophies, and I hated it. I hated how like 2-dimensional he was and how vapid the girls were. Right, whereas in this, there's a lot more composure to it. Right, the efforts that our main protagonist goes to, just to make sure that all the girls feel like they're loved. And again, he keeps on this whole mantra of he doesn't want to say no to any of them. And it's really funny how the girls kind of accept the additions as they come on. So come into the group, and he's like, well, if I just said no, you're going to do it anyway, aren't you? You're just going to make me feel bad for it, so just might as well say yes. And, you know, it's you know. But I want to go into spoilers now to kind of highlight to people, if you're on the fence of this, I kind of want to highlight to you why this is good. So this actually happens later on in the series. I'm going to give a little bit more time for people to maybe skip. But the fourth girlfriend he kind of acquires, she doesn't want to be his anything. Right? She doesn't want to be affiliated with him in any way, shape, or form. She wants to be the the A-star student who focuses on nothing but her academics, and that's it. But when their eyes meet, the spark goes off, and they realize that they're soulmates with each other. And she will try anything within her power to basically sever any possibility of them going out. But he refuses to say no, right? So, initially she asks, will you go out with me? He says yes, and she goes, I have to decline. I was like, but you asked me out! It's like, how does that work? I was like, well, I was expecting you to say no because you already have girlfriends. Anyway. But to prove that there is value in life,
failed successfully.
Yes, basically, to prove that there is value in having these relationships outside of academic study and things like this. He basically says, like, look, let me take you on one date, and if at the end of the day it means nothing to you, then that's it. We'll just be classmates, and no more will be had of it. And when he turns up with a Polaroid camera, to take photos and things like this. And she instantly judges him for this, right? It's like, well, what happens if there's a problem with it? What happens? You've only got one copy of it. What happens if it gets damaged? So on and so forth. This is a completely stupid idea. You're a moron. Blah blah blah. Of course, there's actually a setup to this. So they go through the date, and at the end of the date, they he turns around and asks a question. So, do you want to keep doing this, or do you want to throw in the towel? She goes, I don't want to keep doing this. I want to throw in the towel. I go, fine then. You wouldn't mind if I just destroy these photos then? And all these photos that they've been collecting over the day. Gets a lighter, proceeds to destroy them. She instantly steals the photos off of him because she realizes they're the only copy. They're the only proof that they've actually spent time together, and she hates the idea that that is just going to disappear. And that is, he goes like, yeah, and that is why we should date. And it was just like, you put fucking thought into this, mate, didn't you? That's why I like it. This is he actually cares to think things through. Okay,
nice.
We turn off the spoilers, or do you have?
There's a pretty romantic gesture, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I like it.
Emotional blackmail. It's so good.
Yeah, it's the best way to. Wait, what? Anyway, right. So, unless you guys have any questions,
no, that seems fine.
Right.
I mean, it sounds like something I wouldn't enjoy, but it does sound enjoyable.
Yes, I mean, like as I said, 2-star
acquired taste. Yeah.
So not gonna be forever.
But.
Right. What's next?
Let's do the Kingdoms of Ruin, which has fallen quite significantly. So, this was
almost
an acquired.
Ruin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't no.
What?
So there was a. Sorry, let me just finish reading this. This was an acquired taste 4-star. It is now an acquired taste 0-star. The only thing that prevents it from going down even further is that I can't say there are no redeeming factors. I mean, the animation is really good. The way they don't shy away from blood is surprising. I mean, there's a lot of blood.
Are you kidding?
What do you mean? Well, there's no guts. There should be more guts.
Did you not notice?
There should be more guts.
Did you not notice in the last episode where the screen goes completely black for a moment?
No?
Mm-hmm. Although that could be because of blood, but also nudity.
No, it's not that. I can tell you that.
Okay.
Anyway, just keep going.
Did we watch different episodes? I don't know. But it's just so bad. Why is
Darling, I'm dying. Please take that towel off your head.
Oh God.
Okay, why is it bad?
Well, first off, there's a name drop. They're a title drop, right? And
Right.
it's so awkwardly forced in. It's just anytime, and that's why we were talking about it in Discord, right? Anytime there is a really awkward title drop, it instantly lowers the quality in my brain because this is endemic of the writing. And indeed, this is endemic of the writing in this show. Why is Chloe the only one who can make quills? Why does the magic continue to not make concrete sense? Why are humans not allowed to touch the ground? Oh, but when he touches the ground, it's fine. Why would he give away that he knows their plan to use Chloe, and further reveal that he's happily killed them all in a way very Death Note-y scene? Sorry, it's a little bit spoilery, but I don't care, because this show sucks.
Then why did he give it a 0-star quiet taste? Give it something lower. I would.
Because the
Being that bad but pulled up by the others is still
It's okay.
worth
So Nasuth,
lowering.
is it pulled up only by the animation?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
you know what? Fuck it. This is a 4-star poop. I take it back. This is a 4-star poop. It's a goddamn 4-star poop. The capital city is called New Nightmare. Why would anyone think they're the good guys?
Wow.
Let's just say, so says the again, spoilers. Just skip my review if you really want to watch this, but don't watch this.
just hit the spoilers button.
Fuck it, we'll hit the spoilers button. So the humans thought they killed all the witches, but the witches actually escaped to the moon. Well, at least most of them did. And they teleport him, or they take him up to the moon too. And let's just say they reveal that he's got a tracking chip in him that they used to track him up to the moon, and they all teleport up there and start killing the witches. But it doesn't make sense, okay? Let's say they have ground-based satellites that are looking upwards, and they just, so they can see the moon, but they're not. But why would they actively be looking for a signal there? GPS satellites are usually skybound, looking down at the Earth. That
sounds like somebody who doesn't know how GPS satellites work.
In the 6th episode, it's revealed that the queen is actually a witch, and her plan was to kill all the other witches so that she could rule. But there's a fucking soldier that's just standing there while he watches the king climb up a thing under her spell to throw himself off and kill himself. He's just standing there.
The thing being a castle.
Yeah, the castle. Doing nothing.
No, King, stop! You can't tell me to stop.
This show is.
How's about I kneecap you and then you stop? No, to summarize.
Wait, should we leave spoilers?
No, keep them on.
No.
To summarize a lot of... Actually... Yeah, fine, turn them off. To summarize a lot of what Nasuth is saying, the show does not respect the audience. The show is fighting the audience by, I suppose, subverting expectations every step of the... They show one thing at the end of an episode only to go... Haha, it wasn't actually that one thing. Fuck you. Like, why?
Trying to do unreliable narrator, but just fuck it up.
Constantly. It is constantly unreliable narrator.
It's gotten to the point that I can predict what's going to happen because of what they've shown us. It's like, oh, well, it's not going to be that, so it's got to be this other thing. And that happens to be true. Like, oh.
Right. The absolute batshit crazy thing is that, we spent half an episode around... we saw a girl just a moment ago in front of a memorial, right? We spent half an episode focusing on this one girl and how that, she's considered a sympathizer of the witches and, she needs to be followed and so on and so forth. And she's never come back. It's a plot point that's been completely dropped. And
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't even fucking remember because we got the screenshot that just fucking appeared, right? The whole narrative is written in such a way that either this is designed to be binged and you can't watch it week on week, right? Or someone's been huffing a lot of super glue, right? I mean, a lot of super glue. I'm not talking about just glue that is branded super glue. I'm talking about glue that punches you in the face with super strength.
Gorilla glue.
It is batshit crazy because, like, you know, you just... I watched it before we recorded this, the last episode, and I'm just like, you can't trust fucking any part of this narrative. It doesn't make a fucking lick of sense, right? Why are we even fucking... yeah, so I just fucking can't. And I'm probably... like, you're sticking with some stuff, Nasuth. I'm probably going to stick with this just to see the train wreck.
Good, because I'm dropping it. Somebody needs to tell us how bad it is.
I really don't recommend this. I really don't.
It's sad because the animation, like I said, the animation is quite good.
So fucking good.
And they just don't care.
The plot is just like constantly beating you across the face, going like me. It's like, what? Anyway.
Okay. From that, I want to move on to what I'm really enjoying that neither of you two are watching.
Yep.
Which is My Daughter Left the Nest and Returned an S-Rank Adventurer.
Yup.
This is wholesome and fun with a bit of action thrown in. That's what it is. I'm loving the way they're handling this show. The basic premise in the title is literally it. So our guy with the red hair is a adoptive father of a young woman who he found a baby in the woods, and he used to be an adventurer, so he made sure that he trained his daughter to be able to be an adventurer if she wanted to be. Taught her the sword. She went away when she turned, I think it was 11, and for the last 7 years has been 6 years, has been in the cities training to become an adventurer, and has raised her skill until she's classed as an S-rank swordsman. And yet she is such a daddy's girl. She goes on about how her father's so good. She's created a whole false reputation around him for calling him the red-haired ogre. Because he was an E-rank adventurer when he quit because he lost his leg in a fight with a demon monster. And his daughter has actually defeated one of the very same kind of demon monsters, and has earned the title of Demon King Slayer, because that's what they believe it is. I think it's part of the Demon King. And she's worked really hard at the start of the show in order to spend time with her father. And so she took a holiday, she come back, and in the later episodes, you get a little bit of the fun of that. And we're just getting to the part where we're starting to find out the underlying story, because new characters, new opponents are being introduced that are being introduced as very sympathetic villains. You're starting to see, where their thing is. There's a big plot to bring back the Demon Lord, and nobody really knows that that's what's going on. And people in his cult are coming to help sow chaos in the kingdoms. We see one of the nobles. He's very put out. He feels like the world owes him something, and is trying to take over the estate from the girls we see earlier. So in the earlier show, the S-rank daughter rescues a daughter of a nobleman. Her father, the daughter is her father's dying, and this nobleman's daughter, her older sister, has to take over the estate. There are 3 sisters: the heiress, a swordswoman, and just a generally nice girl. And of course, this S-rank adventurer drags her father into everything, and he ends up being impressive to them and getting involved. And his little adventuring senses, his experienced adventuring senses, help him get involved when things start going wrong. When there's attacks on the town, he figures out the right place to go and leaves his daughter and her friends in charge of dealing with a whole slew of monsters, and ends up he and a helper manage to save the noble lady in her house because it's secretly an attack on her. And so there is action. There is the plot forming. It's slow with the plot because they're more concentrating on this really wholesome relationship between this really powerful daughter and the dad she loves so much, and the fact that
that's
he's just
honestly kind of cute.
guy.
Yeah,
Little things like finding out that the mage in the daughter's party is actually a beast folk type of person. She has animal ears and a tail, and they do a really good job of just showing this moment where you realise, oh no, there's real prejudice in the rest of the world. And when the father he sees the ears, he says, oh, that's why you were wearing a hat all the time. Oh, your ears must be cold. Let me go get you another hat that you can wear at the table. just like your ears must be cold. He has absolutely no prejudice in him whatsoever. And it's really wholesome. And so he charms the absolute heck out of his daughter's friends as well. It's just these wonderful little wholesome moments strung together with some good action and, an underlying plot that's still building. I love the way it's going. I want to see the end of it.
That does actually sound surprisingly interesting. I don't think I don't think I would watch it.
Did I rate this?
I didn't rate this. Shoot, did you?
Is 5-star Acquired Taste. 5-star Acquired Taste.
I'm still not sure I would enjoy it as much as you do, but I can see myself putting this on in the background, and once it's all out, if there's a dub, and just watching it.
That's fair.
Alrighty. So
to be honest, I'd really like to pick this up, but already got
time.
a lot as it
time
is.
and time. Yeah.
Okay, so what have I got for you next? I'm going to go with my trash. So the Demon Sword Master of Excalibur Academy, right? Like a 2-star, nothing special. No, I'm still watching it. I'm still gonna watch it. But I've explained to you the premise of this before. The animation hasn't picked up in the slightest. There's a big fight in. I think the animation gets worse at points. There's a big fight with some big gibbering monstrosities, and they have to go down into the underbelly of the main capital, and the plot is so uninspired. It's like, really, is this the best we can achieve? Really?
Is it what I thought Misfit was going to be, but didn't end up being? Which is just like a high school drama, magic school sort of thing.
No, it's really not though, because like there's zero school in this. Right? So it's the whole premise is like basically it's kind of supposed to be a military academy, except for there's no academy. They're just like these kids are basically given. They sort of like earn their holy swords, but it's just like you X-Men, right? At some point in time, their mutant gene will activate, right? Sometimes you have dormant genes, but so on and so forth. The whole premise is that at some point, their holy sword will activate, right? That's the whole crux of...
and so they just fight until that happens.
And basically, right? And it's just like... But... Where's the school? There's zero school here. There's no academy here whatsoever. This is a floating fortress that is conveniently parked, right? And yeah, so it's...
Yeah, because don't even real military academies have, like, classes where you learn theory and strategy and... Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's something in there, rather than say it's called an academy, but it's just like a holding cell for all these people until they get out, until they use their power.
No, but the thing is, it's an actual island nation, right? So this is an artificial island where there are people, there's civilians here and everything. And like, the thing that drew me to this is the fact that the big bad lich reincarnates in this world thousands of years later. Well, actually, we don't know how long it's been, right? Because there seems to be like a break in history, where there was no texts or anything that refers to any of his past. Yes, a dark age. Thank you. Yeah. And it but it kind of just meanders. It just like fumbles. It's tripping over itself, and like the animation is not great. The static stills and things like of the environment backgrounds, they're lovely and things, but some of the animation of character movements and things, it just harkens back to Realist Hero who rebuilt the kingdom and things like that, where it's just like you're standing in the same pose as you were 5 minutes ago. Can you turn a little?
Have we seen a field? Have we seen just a field while people are talking yet?
No, thank God. Right? We haven't had one of the. We haven't had a. I knock at the door and then continue to hold this position while the person answers the door and then talks to me. Stupid. But yeah, I'm gonna keep watching this one. I don't really recommend it unless you like stupid shit like this. So
fair enough.
I don't know if you have any questions, but I think we just move on. I have zero intention of watching it if I did hear one.
Exactly. So
right.
That's what you got for us.
So let's go into my surprising one that I didn't think would ever redeem itself. But hey, what do you know? Strombus called it. There's one that redeemed itself. It's Ragna Crimson. At least to me. I don't know if Xena would like it, which is why it is an acquired taste. But it's gone. So if if Kingdom of Ruin fell really hard, this one has like catapulted itself, right? This was a 2-star poop. It's now a 3-star acquired taste to me. Right? The only thing that keeps it from being pushed up higher is that the first 2 episodes are dog shit. I mean, you don't want to be anywhere near them. They are awful. But you kind of unfortunately need them to get a little bit of footing in the world. And then episode 3 is also kind of shaky. But because I'd already seen episode 4, I knew it was gonna potentially start getting better. So, and then I've also seen episode 7 as of this recording. But I'm gonna try to keep it only to the 6. So Crimson's character, first off, is amazing. I love Crimson. Everything he does is well thought out and calculated, and it feels actually smart and not just written to be smart. And then they go and subvert your expectations at times too. Not with her though. Sorry, him. It's a him. They've specifically said it's a him.
Just say Crimson.
But he also appears as female sometimes, which is, yeah.
Just say Crimson.
Crimson, yes. Not with Crimson, but this other stuff that's going on. So they're in the capital now, right? And there's a plan by the dragons behind the scenes to slowly kill off the humans that are all streaming into the capital. And give them a nice peaceful death, because that's what Ultimatia, the progenitor dragon, wants. She's a very nice. She's the type of dragon that will smile at you and tell you that she's doing you a kindness as she slides the dagger slowly between your ribs and into your heart. Right? She's that kind of character, and I think her power of presence is just as good as Crimson's.
Right.
Ragna is slowly coming along as an actual character. Which is nice to see. Crimson obviously still steals the show, but that's because they're just amazing. My suspicions about the dragons is totally 100% on point. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you go watch the last review, I told you what it was. Totally 100% on point. I really liked basically all of episode 5 and 6 when they're in the capital.
Sorry, I'm gonna stop you. What was your thing on point? Because I don't want to get people to go back 3 episods of Kanpai Cast and then have to crawl through the actual episode.
Should I put spoilers on? It's a little bit spoilery. I mean, it's not. If you're observant like me, you'll pick up on it before episode 5 and 6. But
okay, tell you what, finish your review and then we'll circle back around.
I'm actually at a good point to get into spoilers anyway. So let's.
Is that Ultimatia?
No, that's Crimson.
No, that's Crimson.
Ultimatia is the white-haired one with the crown. I don't think she's in any of these shots.
No, she's not in any of the shots.
That's a shame.
We only do shots of the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my theory was that the dragons are, or at least the human-esque dragons, are humans who have been uplifted via some kind of technology or whatever. Totally 100% true. You see them using what amount to massive supercomputers. They even there's a dream that Ragna has of one of his memories coming back to him, where Ultimatia is essentially going to convert him into a dragon, because he's one of the only humans left alive, and she's like, I see you've survived this long. You're strong and powerful. We should do a kindness to you. Because, that's how she thinks. And so that's important. That actually comes into play in episode 7. But in episode... So, the thing that really sold me on this, right? They're in the capital. Crimson's told him, we're gonna eventually fight Ultimatia here. But whatever you do, don't do it now. And then he's out walking around with Slime-san while she's off doing, while Crimson's off doing whatever they're doing, and accidentally runs into Ultimatia. And there's this whole amazing sequence where he's like, holy shit, I can't do anything. I mustn't do anything. And he eventually leaves. And then he's in an alleyway, and he's like, why did I just leave? What is wrong with me? And he realizes that Crimson has given him a hypnotic suggestion. And the only reason he realizes this is because leaving is so out of character for him. He would never do that. He would always fight. The option is to always fight. And so he goes back and fucking just starts wailing on Ultimatia, and that starts a whole other sequence that's just... But I like that. I like that moment of, I'm not...
Realization.
Yes, that whole sequence of like, I need to not do anything, and then realizing what's wrong with it, and what's wrong with him, and overcoming it. It's so good.
So do they, like, again, I'm fine for spoilers, because I just don't... I don't think I can get back into this, but... did they ever explain why all the dragons, all the humanoid dragons, are wearing modern-day formal business wear?
No, but I mean, you have to remember that they are now immortals who have been uplifted. So, and they have access to old high technology. So, I mean, they can wear whatever the fuck they want, really.
Right. No. So the answer is yes. It's a case of it's old high technology.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So it's a case of, like, the reason why they have, like, AR-16... Sorry, AR... Wait.
Rifles and guns and jeeps and everything, yeah.
It's simply because, like, this is like...
This is a fallen world, and they are the last remnants of the past.
Okay. I don't know if I could cope with this, because it just... I'm not a huge fan of the fallen world, remnants of the past shit. I don't think I can stomach it.
I love me a good post-apocalyptic story.
Okay, yeah, post-apocalyptic story, sure. But this feels so much that we've taken guns, jeeps, tanks, jet fighters and all that sort of shit and shoved it in a medieval setting, right? Because it starts off so heavily medieval that it's just like, what is this metallic horse you have here? Like, but no one bats an eye. It's like, oh no, that's a jeep. It's like, why are you using swords and plate armor and shit like that? It's just like, oh, that's for the dragons. I'm like, wait, hold on, this feels off.
They haven't developed actual Kevlar yet. They only have metal. Anyway.
Okay.
I'm super enjoying it. But yeah, first 2 episodes, super stinky. Super stinky.
Okay, on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then...
All right, I'm trying to figure out which of the 2 I want to do, of my last 2 I want to do, because they're both so
good.
I'm going to do... Yeah. I'm going to do Undead Unluck, because this is so much fun. I am loving how this is just...
I finally figured out what I like about this show. I want to see if you've come to the same conclusion. So yeah.
So this is, for me, a 2-star must-watch. It is... It's just fun. We've got an escalation that's going faster, further and further each time. Every episode, there is something higher that they're hitting. So it starts off with just men in suits. Then it starts off with the next thing is fighting actual other negators, and then it's fighting one of the incredibly
UMAs.
powerful ones. Then it's up to the UMAs, and we're given just enough explanation to see that we are in the same place as the characters are. We are seeing this show through Unluck's eyes. Okay, we're not getting any more context than what she gets, and it's so good because of that. All of the action is incredibly smooth and incredibly bloody. There's bits that are inventive, bits that are
silly.
Just okay. Yes, there's silliness, like the fact that Unluck's powers activate more the more she cares, and the more contact you have, and the more intimate she perceives that contact to be. And so Undead jetting back to her just ahead, and then reforming his body so that she's clinging to his back. But then the enemy realizes that she's clinging to his back.
Yes.
With his head sticking out of her shirt hole, and she's pressing her tits into his back to get the right amount of contact. And then telling her off, I can't believe you're being that shameless. And we continue to see that she's just a good person in this. So the plot that we started in the 3rd episode is to join the ranks of the people that will hunt other negators, so that they don't get hunted themselves. And all of this is to do with Undead's desire to actually finally die, because if he can keep Unluck alive long enough, then he can forge enough of a bond with her that when they finally do something about it, maybe even have sex, of all things, then it'll be strong enough to finally kill him. But to that end, which is
a really weird two-edged sword, because once she loves him, she's not going to want him to die.
No, exactly.
I love where this is going. They haven't said that, but I think that's going to happen.
No, exactly. So, but on top of that, there's all these things that you can see Undead doing specifically to get these things. So they find out that in order to change things, they have to be
she has to be the number one seed
in this organization that she's joined. And so when we find out how this organization works, Undead just jumps for the most difficult fucking task they can do so they can move up the ranks faster, completely ignoring what the other members of this council, this group of 10 are trying to do. Okay, he just goes straight for it. He rips into people and says, no, what's the most difficult? How can I move up fastest? And that really kind of capitalizes on this character that he's so used to being undead that he just goes for things. And all we as the audience are just left reacting to every bit of craziness as it's happening. if it can keep this pace up, I have no idea where it's going to go for the ending.
I kind of I agree with pretty much everything you say. However, I do feel that there is a bit of a downside to the series, and that is how easy it is to comprehend the world setting. One thing I struggle with is like, you know, these are all the characters, and for some strange reason they're hiding their
the powers of some of them, because again, we're only seeing what Fuko sees. Unluck. So she doesn't know what their powers are.
So we can't know. One of the key things about their combat is figuring out what a negator actually does.
But that's in part the point. And it's a case of it just feels a bit. Okay, so now we have to spend I don't know how long trying to work out what they can do. And I will admit I have not had the opportunity to watch the 6th episode. I thought I had, but I hadn't.
Oh, that's good.
So that may explain more and things like that. But I kind of feel that, you know, we've had 5 episodes straight of constantly being taught stuff. It would be nice to have some breath and see what we have learned applied, but it's still.
I feel like they're
coming in.
I feel like they're doing it as they go, right? So they'll explain something, they'll give you a tiny bit of information, and then you have a section where that information is applied, and then you have another bit of information, and it's happening in the same show. It's not like here's an info dump, and then here's another episode where we internalize that, right?
But to me, it feels like info dump.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay,
Like,
it's more like,
I mean,
here's a UMA. You're an idiot. You've just gone and done something stupid. Now you're going to have the consequences of it. And that's how we explain how these things work.
The what you call? I know I spoke to one of you two about it. I think it was Nasuth, because after watching the 4th episode, I was so confused. I literally had to sit down with one of you two to find out, wait, how did that all work? How I don't understand what the hell the ability was or anything like that. And again, part of the issue I have is the fact that they're trying to make the ability have a name that matches the something, right? And it's just
because that's what it is. It's
negating something.
But we have, but it's not negating. something.
I think you were confused about the difference between self negators and area negators. Was the problem?
That was one of it. That was one of it. That was one of the problems. But it was Anyway, it just
so
you know, it's a great series. It is a great series. I just find it a bit hard to keep up with what's going on.
Thaylien. The thing that I pinpointed about why I like this so much, I'm going to say 3 words to you, and I want to see if you agree with me. No more heroes. Does it not have that same vibe? Yeah.
Yes, it does.
See, and I've never played No More Heroes, so I have no idea what the context means. I don't know what that means.
Well, okay, you look at this, and you've now effectively got no more heroes.
Kinda.
This, you could just change out the actual character for the main character.
So essentially, there's an assassination organization, and the only way to move up the ranks is to kill the other assassins ahead of you in line. And our main character wants to be the top assassin for reasons, and so you go on a bloody rampage, and it's just hilarious the entire time.
Okay, right. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Cool. Right. The next one I'm going to go for, I want to save my best for last, is the Vexations of a Shut-In Vampire Princess. So I can't remember everything that's happened. I want to give this... This is difficult. I'm going to say a 4-star, nothing special. Right.
That's still pretty decent.
It is pretty decent. It's the problem is that I'm borderline. I don't know if I want to keep watching this I think I will. I think I'm gonna keep going and things. The problem is that the plot has become quite obvious to the direction it's going in. Character abilities have now been revealed, and it's like, right, so that mystery box has disappeared now entirely. What else have we got? Like, but the charisma that the characters carry is absolutely excellent, right? Everyone's like, yeah, they're just so endearing. You could just fall in love with any of those characters. Who else is? The animation work is brilliant. The motivation, the backstory of the characters, like the reasons, like we actually get proper direction. You know what? Actually, no, I'm changing this. This is a 2-star acquired taste.
Wow.
Yeah, no, this so like it's endearing because like you actually have a reveal of what the motivation behind one of the villains is, right? They actually properly explain why they're doing something the way they're doing it, right? And more often than not, like you just have, I'm a dickhead. That's it, right? You know, what's your motivation? Because I'm a dickhead. Cool, right? I mean, it doesn't do the constant, I wouldn't say subversion of expectations, but it's not fighting you as an unreliable narrator that Kingdom of Ruin does, right? I wouldn't say the animation in this is the best, but again, it doesn't falter, right? It doesn't.
Story always takes precedence anyway, right? I mean, up to a point. Story always takes precedence up to a point. Yes. Yeah.
So, I personally, I think highly of this, right? I don't think it's the best of its field, but I think that it is a good contender for its field. It's sort of like very much one of those sort of like it feels like a mix between an Otome game and a Villainous series, right? But still different enough to so I enjoy this series. The main, so the powers of the different characters, because they reveal, like, you know, there are these, what do they call them? It's like crimson powers, or something. And basically characters have different abilities, and that what makes them like high class society is because they have abilities that other characters in the setting just don't have, and that's why they're in leadership positions, because they're supposed to use those abilities to help the nation. Right, so yeah, I very much like the series. You know, if I had to drop this or other shows, I wouldn't jump to it straight away to drop it. But at the same time, you know, if it was a case of Apothecary Diaries or this, I'm sorry, keep it Apothecary Diaries.
Would you say this is better binged?
Yes, I think it would be. I think this would be better binged because you could kind of like one and done it kind of thing. And then, but again, like when you have to wait for so long between episodes, it kind of falls by the wayside and you just don't.
Yeah.
So, there you go. All right.
Cool. Well, so we're coming up to the, oh gosh, we're coming up to the 2 hour.
This is the last round, isn't it?
It's just the 2 hour mark. I thought we were at the 2.5 hour mark. This is not okay. No. Good. I'm still not gonna try not to spend too much time on this, but it is my best. It may be. This may be the best show of the year. It is Pluto.
It's pretty damn close.
I'd say it's definitely a contender. This is actually a 5-star must watch for me. That's how good it is.
Wow.
That's how good it is. Thaylien and I both had the same reaction after episode 1, right? And after episode 1, Thaylien and I were both like, I'm hooked. I have to see more. I need to watch all of this now. So very important. This is Studio M2, which is made by the same guy that did Mappa and Madhouse. And
this is the new studio, isn't it?
The newest studio, yeah. And the quality shows. At its core, this is 100% a story about which is stronger, love or hate.
Sorry, is this screenshot supposed to have a weird screen door effect on it?
Yes. because they're watching it on a TV screen.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
I'm not gonna go into too much of the actual story.
Yeah.
Well, like, it's only 8 episodes, but each episode is an hour long, so it's effectively 16 episodes of any other show.
Yes.
And I don't think I really need to explain more than the first episode again to kind of get you hooked into the idea.
Indeed.
It's a murder mystery, right? We're in a world where there are robots and humans, and a war happened 7 years ago. Well, they initially kind of just call it an incident, but it was a war. And I won't get into the details of how the war started, but they are very important to the full story. And in this war, it was mainly robot versus robot. And there were 7 like super robots that were created and sent in. And so this story follows the murder of those 7 robots. That's what the mystery is all about.
Like this. This is from the first episode.
This is that same robot
the big
head.
one you saw earlier?
Yep.
Yes. So it starts off with the murder of Mont Blanc, who is a hero. He volunteered for the war, and before and after, he dedicated his life to helping people. He dedicated his life to. He's from the Alps, and so he's a mountain guide, and helped with natural disasters, and he was a hero. And he's now being killed.
Now, what's most interesting about this, I think, is that this is based off of a 2005 manga, which was itself a retelling of Astro Boy, specifically the strongest robot on Earth arc, as a gritty, dark mystery, right? And so our main character is Gesicht, this guy on the left here, who is also a robot. He's not quite as advanced as the super robots, but he is special in his own way.
He's one of the 7.
Is he one of the 7?
Is he?
He is.
Yes.
No, he's not. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. He was in the war.
7.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Shit. Anyway, so I'm gonna go into a little bit of spoiler territory here. It's first.
Can we confirm then? Is it the death of some of the 7 or all of the 7?
All of the 7.
We don't know yet. Well, at the point I'm on episode 4. We don't know that. It's a halfway point for the season.
I should say it starts with 1, and then more of them occur.
It starts with one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard I try.
But each one we go to see, I think one of the most interesting parts about it is each robot that we go to visit gives us a different perspective on what they think humanity is.
Okay.
And it starts with the first robot, which is why I'm going to get into spoiler territory here. This first robot is North Number 2, and he is voiced by the same person that does Dio Brando, which instant win. But he's being sent to be the butler of this music composer, right? Famous music composer.
Scotland.
Did a lot of music for movies and stuff, Academy Award winner, all that stuff. But now he's old and decrepit. He's gone blind.
He's jaded.
The reviews are all like, "Oh, this guy's not as good as he used to be," that sort of thing. And he hates robots. He thinks that music comes from the human soul and machines are just terrible. But eventually they form a connection because the robot has its own nightmares that it's like the guy is trying to compose this song that encompasses the nightmare of his childhood because he had a terrible event that happened. And his own actual nightmare. And
his nightmare and his dream.
Yes, at the same time. Yes.
The feeling of his childhood home.
And the robot hears him humming in his sleep at one point and starts playing the music. And he's like, "Sir, please, won't you teach me how to... I never want to go back to the battlefield. Please teach me how to play music instead. I want to be like you. I want to have a soul." And the way it ends, right, is they do form this connection. He does play the music. He helps the guy. They become, and then Pluto shows up.
Yes.
And to save the old man, North Number 2 leaves to go fight Pluto. And sings their song in the end, right before he dies. And it just crushes me in the best way. This show has so much emotion, so much going on. It is gorgeous.
Okay.
Yes. Every bit of imagery, every bit of
I think that's enough spoilers.
People treat robots like real people. Everything that's from that is done off. This is North Number 2 up here. He wears a cloak because he is a war robot.
Yep.
And his body is built for war. So to hide that from people, he wears the cloak.
It's so good.
Little things. The show does just hit and hit and hit with each emotional beat.
Should we move forward before you guys just start lamenting even further?
All right. So,
I never want to see a season 2, though. I will say that. I never want to see a season 2. Let this be all there is.
They might just ruin that. So, I'm going to finish off with my last one, and it is my best of the season apart from Pluto, which is Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. And this one, I'm putting at a solid 3-star must-watch. It almost got a 4-star. And that was when the Irish fucking battle music kicked in. And that is my particular thing. Not everybody likes that. But when it kicked in on a couple of scenes, I just, yes. This whole thing is made to show that journey of getting to know people and actually becoming emotionally attached, making you stronger and making helping you see the world in a different way. Frieren is and always will be that little bit too emotionally detached, but we get moments. Up to episode 6, we get all these little moments of showing that she is far more than the stoic persona that she first puts on. We find her seeking out grimoires and things, and we start off one episode looking down as Frieren finds a dragon's nest with a solar dragon guarding it, and there's a grimoire in the nest because the dragons build their nest out of magical things to help their eggs grow. And so Frieren says, right, do you want to try taking this thing on? And so she takes her back seat as her apprentice, takes aim and fires a spell at the dragon, and it just bounces off. And the dragon gets ticked, looks up at them and starts taking off towards them, and Frieren just legs it. So, I think that didn't work, so we're gonna have to run, and runs. And her poor apprentice is like screaming and scrambling through the forest. I had no idea dragons are this scary. Help, 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 help. And skids to a stop when she spots Frieren again. And Frieren is just calmly standing behind a tree. It says, looks like we lost it. Okay. And so, in order to do that, she, in episode 3, we met with the dwarf, at his home, to see a little bit of to find out a little bit about what he was doing. And it turns out that they were directed to this village where the dragon is outside because the dwarf's apprentice is there. And the dwarf wants them to take Frieren to take the apprentice with him as their frontliner, their melee fighter. And you see this great little thing of the fact that he is not what he appears to be. None of the characters really are what they appear to be. Not even the only one that's truly honest is Frieren's apprentice. She's exactly the kind of person you think she is. But the adventure's is actually beginning. I've watched far too much of this show for this review. I'm up to episode 9. I've got episode 10 on a tab right now to watch after we're done here because I want to watch more of this show. But
we both not watched 10 then.
10 I think only dropped this afternoon.
Doesn't matter.
No, I think it was yesterday or the day before, something like that. But yeah, regardless, yeah.
Yes. Oh no, because I watched 9 yesterday, so it must have been after I watched it yesterday. So the show is just brilliantly paced. You get these epic battle scenes when they start in. You get these brilliant teaching moments, like where they realize that no, my teacher is and always will be more powerful than me because they just have that much more experience. But there are things that I can do and I can do well. Each character gets that as we're building up. And I love the fact that because it's been nearly 80 years since the hero's journey, things are starting to go wrong again. And they're going to go through this journey again, Frieren and her new group of adventurers. And the apprentice that she's got, the frontliner that she's picking up. And they're going to tidy up, as it were, these other things. And it's also the fact that in this world, the demon clan, the demon people, aren't just another type of humanity, which is actually quite a nice twist on these things. The demons are actually predators evolved to hunt humans. And they will use words as much as they will use abilities and powers. And it is scary how they portray it working, you know, which is it's great for that building of drama as well as everything else.
They use psychological warfare, which is you know,
a great highlight of that.
Yeah, it's so distinct in the design of a race that you know, my hat goes off to them. I think it's like it's such a nice minor addition.
Yeah, like
the goblins in Goblin Slayer.
This is okay. This is the example. Something that's shown off as a thing that in Frieren's backstory, a little flashback they do to illustrate about demons. They show the story of how a village is they're tasked with killing a demon child. Because
the hero party.
The hero party is tasked with killing a demon child because the demon child killed and ate another child, a human child. And the family is upset. And when it comes down to it, the demon child looks up at everybody and looks away and says, "Mother, help me. Mother, save me." And the hero Himmel and the local priest take pity on her. Or one of the local good guys takes care. They take pity on her and take her in. They stay in the village. The heroes party stay in the village to watch what happens because the family that takes in the demon child has all these moments that look really, really wholesome, you know, and they leave the daughter alone with the demon child and nothing happens. But then
it's just biding its time.
The house burns down, killing the father of the child that she's with, and the demon child tries to present this man's child to the family of the child she ate as recompense, as well. I ate your child, so here I'm returning you now a new child. That should be okay, right? I don't understand what's wrong with this.
Oh dear.
And then finally, when Frieren steps forward and says, "You won't stop me from killing her this time, will you?" He says, Frieren, and nobody tries to stop her.
Yep.
And the demon child says, "No, mother, help me, save me." And she says, "Why do you say that? You don't know what a mother is. You've never had a mother. Demons abandon their children." And the demon looks at her and just says, "It stops you from killing us."
That's what the humans do.
That's the thing. You know, humans accept that word. It's something that stops humans from killing us.
Yeah.
So it's so well thought out. It's so well paced in this revelation and then action and then more.
I see what you mean
built
now.
on these things.
I think Frieren is like one of the best fantasy series out there, just because of like, first off, the dichotomy of the original journey versus the today journey, but also the caliber of the fantasy world. It just
they've actually put effort into their world building. Yeah,
they put so much effort in, right? We spoke about it in the 3-episode rule, where it's just like, something that was like that was like just piece of magic that was destroying entire army, right, is now everyday magic, like 80 so years later.
It is.
It's just like
because they worked with it. They found
same way a machine gun
shields that can
is now just everyday technology.
Yeah.
For school children
instead of just being mounted on an airplane. Anyway,
sorry.
Right, should we move on to the last one?
Xeno's the last one.
Okay, and I too saved best for last. Right. Fucking love the Apothecary Diaries. Right, I'm not kidding. It is such a good series. I am giving this a 4-star must watch.
Nice.
It is so goddamn good. It's set in historical China, right? Which again is like completely out of left field, and is because this aired the first 3 episodes all in one go. The week we had done the 3-episode rule, right? So this is effectively a from scratch review, and the premise is there is a in this setting, we have a girl who is an aspiring apothecary, right? And she works with, I think, her father, but he's getting on in the years, and she is all about intellect. She doesn't care for an easy life. She wants to learn things, right? And part of her education is she does experiments on herself, right? How do different plants react with skin contact and things like different food allergies, all sorts of weird stuff. But in the time setting, handmaidens and things like this are often sold to the emperor, so that the family can make some income by the daughter working. However, because of the shittiness of the time, this is exploited by people kidnapping beautiful women, sending them to the emperor as if they're their own child, right? And then basically raking in the cash for these people working for the emperor. And they can't say no, because otherwise they could be executed. So they can't lose face to in front of the emperor, because things could go horribly wrong for them, right? So they basically have to do what they're told, and they have to work this term under the employ of the emperor, right? So our main protagonist, Mao Mao, ends up getting kidnapped, and while she was picking herbs, and becomes a washmaid for the Empire. And she works in, I think it was like the rear garden, which is like kind of like the outer section of the palace. So she's doing cleaning and things like that, and she hears rumors from friends and things, and ultimately, there's gosh, I'm trying to remember. One of the concubines of the Emperor two of the concubines of the Emperor are ill, right? And they've just given birth, they're very ill, so on and so forth. And our handmaiden ends up witnessing a spat between the concubines. The handmaiden is like really observant. She realizes what's happened, and they're actually using an old style form of makeup that is actually toxic, right? On skin contact,
which is actually a real thing.
Yes. So she gets a piece of fabric from effectively her clothing, and she writes on this, like, do not use this thing, it is toxic, right? You know, don't use this powder, it is toxic. Attaches it to a flower, and then basically sneaks into the grounds of both of the concubines, and then leaves the flower like on a windowsill. Now, the top dog concubine is like, I'm gonna ignore the fuck out of this, right? You know, fuck whoever. She just throws it away, right? But the second concubine, who we actually see here, the redheaded woman, she actually reads it and actually stops using the powder, right? And her health slowly starts to improve. She then wants to find whoever left the note. I've got to tell you this is so fucking funny. So she hands the note written on the cloth to who was the purple-haired dude in there, who's actually the manager of the entirety of the outer palace grounds, right? He manages the whole of the estate, right? For all the concubines, for all the handmaidens, for, you know, he manages the whole thing. And he has to work out who it is. And he basically works out where the cloth could possibly come from, and basically gets all of these handmaids, like, you know, just sends his workers out there, find me all of the handmaids that match this kind of description, right? So they're all gathered together, right? And like, all of the handmaidens are staring directly at the guy and can't take their eyes off of him. And she's kind of like looking around, trying to observe what the F is going on. She's looking sus, right? And while he's talking to them, he writes a little note, right? No, that's the Emperor, right? He writes a little note, holds it up, and it says, "You with the freckles, stay behind," right? And then he just dismisses everyone. And she's standing there going, shit, I should have gone with them! Because she's just revealed she can read!
Holy shit, a show that's actually smart!
Yes, she can fucking read!
Oh my god, the legends were true.
Okay. Right? And
also like, historical drama that Xeno likes. I mean, like,
yes,
this show's just like...
Yes, it's fast. It is so fast,
okay.
Right?
So, I do want to ask you, Xeno, what's the main character's name again?
Mau Mau.
Excellent.
Mau.
Now, clip this, use it as a stream alert.
Mau Mau.
Mau Mau. Right, but yeah, so it's really it's great. It's really well thought out. They and like there's this one scene from one of the later episodes that has been doing the rounds where
is it the one that I saw?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? So effectively, the other concubine, right, is still gravely ill. And they have the second concubine actually ends up hiring her as an apothecary, right? And so she's no longer like a handmaiden or a washmaiden or whatever. She's a apothecary. And once the health of the second concubine is all gonna, she goes to the first. So she's been asked by the Emperor, right, by proxy of the concubine, please can you go to the first concubine and tend to her. And then, like, to when she discovers, and please, for the love of God, you've got to watch this, is so good. when she discovers that the makeup is still being used, hell hath no fury like an apothecary scorned.
I think it was Silver that showed me this clip, and he was like, "This is why you need to watch this show." Yes. And I was like, "Holy shit, I need to watch this show." I haven't actually started it yet, but I need to. It
is so fucking good. Like, this and Frieren are...
Yeah, that's the other one I want to do.
Yeah.
It is so fucking good. And again, like, the fact that she constantly wants to, like, experiment on herself is just like... it's just mental. Anyway, yep, so that is... that. Unless you have any questions.
No, I'm impressed.
I mean, even if I hadn't seen that clip, the way you explained that has me like super interested. So
yeah, it's like there's like I want to talk about this. Like Loz and I have had conversations about this. There are so many little things in the entire series that just make you kind of giggle and things. It is a little tongue in cheek here and there. God, right, we gotta stop.
We gotta stop.
I want to keep talking. It's so good. Please watch it.
It's 2 hours. Oh, it's actually just 2.5 hours. Wow, yeah, I thought for sure it'd been longer. But yeah, that's
what she said.
Some really good stuff though. Like
please watch it.
Some really shit stuff, but some really good stuff too.
Oh God, yes, I love this. Oh.
So.
Right.
But it is time to move on. It is time to move on to the supporter questions. So take us away.
Right, I really want to keep talking. Anyway, right, all right. So, Zrugel says, it is now time for the supporter questions. So while I'm doing that, you folks at home can make sure that you subscribe to the channel and like the video and share it if you can. It really is the best metric for you to show YouTube that you really like what we do. Since it was such a hit last time, one of you think up a story, one of you come up with maybe 3 characters, and the last person gives the show a rating. I want to say, like, in terms of story, let's give it like a world setting, right?
Kind of.
So
yeah, but with an overarching plotline.
Well, the problem is if you come up with the characters after you got the story, it kind of makes it hard, right?
Okay.
Okay. So story, I'm gonna set it in. You know what? Fuck it. I want to do prehistoric times. I want to, let's get dinosaurs in there and everything, right?
That one section from Chrono Trigger. Got it.
Wait, Chrono Trigger? What?
Yeah, remember they go back in the past and get the.
Never heard.
You never played Chrono Trigger? What? Oh, no. I get what you're doing.
I know what it is. I know what it is.
I get what you're doing.
Right. Anyway, so so we're gonna go back to prehistoric times, and it's gonna be a heist anime with a rom-com. Right, rom-com heist anime. Go steal something from prehistoric times.
All right. So, and I'm gonna give us 3 characters. We're going to have a absolutely charismatic leader whose only claim to fame is that he has a dinosaur tooth spear. He's going to be accompanied by a massive big bruiser who cannot be subtle to save his life, and he's going to have the obligatory romance character. He's in fact going to be a rival who is going after the same things that our guy is and is constantly dunking on him. She's just going to be the better. She's going to seem like to be the better thief, get away with it at the time, but only because they like each other.
Okay, important question. Are they dinosaurs?
No, it's prehistoric.
You said prehistoric.
Yes, but prehistory goes back to 8,000 years ago.
Oh,
so
you should have said human prehistory. Prehistory includes everything before history.
Talking caveman times.
Yeah. Fine. You could have gone dino. You could have made it interesting. You could have been like, we got to finish this heist so we can get the cool thing to stop the asteroid impact. But no, you're just gonna do. You're just gonna do fucking. All right, sure. Well, fine. I'll give it a 3-star acquired taste. Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds interesting enough.
That was fun. Now do it, but in reverse. Someone pick a rating. Next person gives characters, and the last person tells us the plot.
Okay, so I want to give this upcoming show a 1-star must-watch.
Ooh.
Okay.
Xeno, give us Xeno. Oh, okay. Xeno did the story last time, so so
Oh, so I have to give the characters. Right. Okay.
Yes. Fair enough.
We have a dog girl bounty hunter.
Is she stoic?
I'll leave that up to Nasuth. Okay. So we've got a dog girl bounty hunter. We've got a... Oh god. A geriatric barbarian with a laser axe. And we've got a super intelligent like Wunderkin shit cat, like an actual proper cat, with a fascination for anchovies.
Okay. What are we doing with that story? With that set of characters? What's our story?
So
1-star must watch. Come on, Nasuth. Best shit you've ever come up with.
This is set in space, obviously, because laser axe. Right? And their goal is to unite all the disparate factions in their galaxy, because they have to go from being bounty hunters to actual heroes, because there is a threat coming from the anti-universe that they have to stop. But then you find out, then there's a twist at the end, because all really good shows have to have a twist these days. You find out that it's actually in the dying mind of a mangaka who has been overworked at his job. Sorry, an animator, not a mangaka. An animator who's been overworked at his job. Well, there you go.
Okay. So cool. It's an isekai flashing ball before his mind.
But he doesn't actually get isekai, he just dies.
And he was the cat all along.
Yes.
Right. Then apparently everyone started posting their own hypothetical ideas of how we would answer. So apparently Nasuth came up with I would say it's a 0-star poop. Nasuth, the MC is Sid Cargo fuck. And Thaylien, the plot's a mess. Thaylien said, Nasuth said it's a 3-star, nothing special. The main character is a jobless guy reincarnated as a mage who likes panties. And then Xeno said, fuck you guys. And then Ricky's came up with, Thaylien said, I'm always right. Xeno said, I'm always wrong. And Nasuth said, you two, there were two true statements before me. Anyway, fuck knows what happens to that. So let's move on to the comments. That was first off from the news. Strong Michelle says, Xeno interrupting Nasuth is the news story that was combined. Right? Okay.
So remember, I had like several stories that were jammed together, and I asked people to guess what it was in the comment. I realized instantly that was stupid because people could see it on screen as we were going through them. But
good job. Right. I feel that the voice actor getting arrested story could be its own video. Sad to see so many mobile games shut down so soon. I have been newsed.
Newsed.
Google says, woo. What?
Newsed.
Right. And then Zrugal says, "Woo, campfire cooking season 2." Very, very true.
Yes.
Now the comments from the cast. Zrugal says, "I didn't get the color effect on the like button when you mentioned it." Yeah, the letter grade rating of a skill is pretty dumb. I won't say it always bothered me, but it does seem shallow.
Yeah.
When Nasuth was talking about the video game conceit sometimes leaving you disconnected, akin to the lack of world building, Nasuth, do you have a hammer because you hit the nail on the head?
Nice.
Having characters see a UI screen, as it were, helps tell the viewer how strong something is. It's got one thing for a character to say, "This ogre is really strong." It's a totally different thing for Vegeta to yell at Nappa that the scouter... So, what the scouter reading... So, what scouter was reading for Goku's power level. And
I would argue that the scouter was the worst idea, though.
The fact that it got blown up and completely outmoded by sensing within one season.
Yep.
Was, you know.
Yep. Anyway.
And then how dare you, Log Horizon was awesome. It just didn't get a third season redemption like Shield Hero is. I'm sorry, but Jesus Christ, the second season of Log Horizon is just like, what is this? Why is
it
this
worse than Shield
story?
Hero second season?
Good question.
I don't want to say yes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Either way, you're gonna feel like you've lost some brain cells.
Oh hells yeah! Like it's just like, oh yeah, no, we have to get the world supply of gold from the world. Wait, what? And we have to buy stuff with the world gold, and we have to kill these 3 raid bosses. What the fuck?
With the world
and then
gold.
while that's happening, what the world gold? And then while that's happening, this character's gonna work up the courage to tell a guy that she likes that she loves him. Like, what? Okay, so, and then Strong Michelle says, the like button didn't glow for me. Not sure
I don't know
what's was on my end, though. I mean,
it sounds like maybe it's...
If you have like an ad block, it might not do it.
Well, no, it definitely was. But I think it's a case of that they were rolling it out on the channels or something. That
bigger channels probably get it first.
You guys asked if any shows took it too far, but I don't think you asked each other if any shows didn't go far enough with the UI elements. Or maybe a show that didn't have it should have... that should... I mean, come on, Nasuth. Eyes of Mars would be so much better with that HP readouts.
I didn't know it could get better, but somehow, man, you made it happen.
Right, so that is it
HP
for comments. Let us move on to the memes. All the memes from us come from Reddit, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, so let's.
I think we only have one viewer meme this week. Am I mistaken about that?
Only one.
You wanna quick check the doc, because I think it's only one.
I'll quick check the doc. Yeah, there's only one.
Well, there you go. You can, if you want to submit your own memes, you can go to the Discord, and there is a specific section where you can post memes that we won't see until they air on this show.
Yeah. That's
so
kind of made us sad.
I mean, that's pretty good, though.
Fuck, that's nightmare fuel. I am. That's haunting my dreams tonight. Fuck, what do they use for the teeth?
I'm gonna eat it.
Corn?
No, I think it's like nuts of some kind.
Nuts?
Yeah.
Look on the right there. They've got.
Oh yeah.
Like,
are these all the ingredients? Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Right. Oh god, this is so hard to read. Essentially, it's like, do you think there's a reason we're laying the way we are? No, I can't imagine what it is. Yep. There you go.
I hate you all. Whoever came up with this.
Yep. Right, so it couldn't be because Stone Ocean was more mid than the equator. Everybody forgot about Stone Ocean because of Netflix's binge model, and then you got all these other shows. Even Devilman Crybaby. You can't say you've forgotten about Devilman Crybaby.
Wait, I don't understand this.
People have forgotten about
saying that-
JoJo, and there's this guy, the JoJo fan, is saying it's because of the binge model. But all these other shows are on the binge model, and people remember them. It's not just because Stone Ocean was mid.
Exactly.
It was mid.
Fuck off.
Lemons
are Unbreakables bad. Fuck off.
Yeah, it is. Episodes 1 through 12 of Hulk. Episodes 13 to 18 of Hulk.
Yeah.
I've stopped watching.
We're not doing a review. Employees, human resources. So scary. Kawaii-des. Main character, villain. Main character, villain. Main character, villain. Main character, villain.
Brilliant.
And my last one is a video meme.
Nothing beats saying dirty words in public, except saying them with panties over your expression. Dirty jokes are my civil rights. Now some parting gifts. Happy on. This is crazy. What are you doing? I don't handle things here. You don't want to be late to your first day of school.
If people want to know, that's Shimonetta. Go check out Shimonetta. It's hilarious.
It's a fucking good show.
It's hilarious.
Oh,
Right, on to
the fact it did come out similar timing.
Excellent.
With my geese, I can make you do whatever I wish just by looking in your eyes. Well, good luck with that. Brock's secret power.
Yep.
2 grandmas get into a fight at a local park.
Oh my god.
It's Frieren. Vegeta, 164 centimeters, 56 kilograms.
Oh my god.
Astolfo,
Oh my
164 centimeters, 56
god.
kilograms. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just
Femboy
saying.
Vegeta.
God.
You don't see ambulances asking for money in America.
Yep. Yep.
Is having a penis fun? Well, it has its ups and downs. Sometimes it's a little hard. It's a pain in the ass. Oh, Jesus fuck, guys, come on. Loading bar.
Oh.
This is absolutely me in a social situation.
And Thaylien's final one is also everyone's final one is a video meme this week.
Yes.
なわけねえだろ。
なるほどね。では、可愛いレイちゃんにいいものを見せてあげる。
Oh no. Oh dear.
Oh my god.
I just Japanese rickrolled you all. And all of you too.
Right, quickly moving on to Xenos. Yes.
I'm the worst anime character. No, I am. Amateurs. What was that, punk? Amateurs.
Yes.
You're not wrong.
Local tax collectors hate him. Man takes tax evasion to a whole new level. House won't stop fucking moving. Yep. Gundam Wing writers when writing Trays and Zex. Gundam Wing writers when writing everyone else.
Not wrong.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Saw this one too. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want to put that word on the screen, but there you go.
It's there. Right. People. Oh my god, that's a villain. Let's finish this quickly before everything goes out of hand. Goku. I say we give the ring to Sauron, let him power up to 100%, then we take him out.
You're not wrong.
You don't understand, King Kai. If we let him power up, it'll demoralize him.
Was that my 5th?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now my 6th.
Yep. Classic. I wondered if it was this one. Right, and now that we've insured the copyright
and then
strike,
you got Evangelion Rickroll.
now that we've insured the copyright strike.
Have we though? Have we though?
100%.
Have we though? Come
100%.
back next week when we find out whether or not we got another community guidelines.
Yeah.
Right. Okay then. Cool. Right. Well, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching / listening. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai.